I like how intuitive it is. It's notifying viewers that we're live, etc. People are joining. Hello, everyone. Joe Severino, running to be the next Republican governor of Illinois. And with your help, we will accomplish becoming the governor. First, we have to get through the primary, March 17th, a very important day. People don't realize the impact and the reality of the primaries are where the actual, if you believe in election theft and rigging in Illinois during the Republican primary is when that occurs. That's where they keep good candidates out, and that's why we need people to make it too big to rig. We need people out there voting in droves, and we can overcome the barriers and the cheating, etc. So I'm here for you. Today, we're kicking off our fundraiser. Today is the first day that we're actually fundraising, and we're looking forward to everybody chipping in as much as they possibly can. If you're in a position to really help as much as you can. And if you can't give much, we understand that too. Supporting, sharing our videos, telling your friends about us. The actual network of grassroots people that have been coming to our campaign is so inspiring, and we're so thankful and armored by it. I would say armored. Just when you get a little tired and you think, is it really worth it? It's almost thankless at times trying to do this. People don't know the fight you have behind the scenes. And then when you see the inspired individuals that care so much, it just rearmors you. And I'm thankful to be in this position. Questions?
Not seeing any questions yet.
My daughter is here reading the questions. I see a few of them. How can we
stop the cheating? Pritzker will cheat.
Yeah, it's very difficult. When I ran for Congress in 2022, my race stopped counting for 1 hour, just like when you saw with Trump where the fraud occurred. The exact same thing happened. All the other races were calculated and tabulated, and my race hesitated for an hour. When I spoke to the clerk that's in charge of the elections, she said they had to replace my flash drive. It's so offending. There's nothing intricate about a flash drive. It stores information, and it was my votes by mail, and they came back where the radical got 99.9% of the vote. We did a forensic audit and analysis and found what appeared to be cheating. And in Illinois, if you're actually fighting for the people, they're not going to spend any time or resources trying to defend. What they do is they just kind of sweep it under the rug and move on, and they want you to concentrate on something else. That's why I'm still here. I know how bad this really is. And if you knew how bad it really was, you might even think differently. But the reality is when people leave, when they've run for office in Illinois, they usually leave the state. That's how bad it is. But I'm staying here, and I'm going to continue to fight for you. They're not going to bully, harass, intimidate. I have 2 defamation cases going on. 5 times they've tried to have me arrested for literally mean tweeting and outing people for corruption. They're the corrupt, but they tried to silence me with the authorities. They put orders of protection against me. So when I speak about ill-mannered individuals and corrupt individuals, they go to the police station and say they feel intimidated by that and they want an order of protection, so I can't respond and tell you exactly what's going on. It's literally that bad. So when I say I need help fundraising, I need help communicating to other individuals that aren't inspired. I know there's voter fatigue out there. I know why people don't want to get off the couch and go out there and vote. But this is the time. We have the messenger now with the message that can actually get out there and compete against J.B. Pritzker. And even as we speak here and meet, they're trying to align other individuals that might steal some votes from Joe here and there so they can try to rig it. So to answer the question, we do it. If everybody comes out to vote for me in the primary on March 17th, we can overcome the cheating, to answer the question.
I'm seeing one that we haven't talked about in other lives. What would you do as governor to support recovery and those who struggle with substance abuse issues?
Great question. What would I do to support recovery and substance abuse issues? I'm a big supporter of individuals that have grown through adversity, have learned, have suffered in some capacity. I think that's what makes us great when we're able to overcome. I've overcome a lot in my life, and I believe that's why I feel calloused enough to be here. But the reality is too many people are being left behind. Our mental health facilities in Illinois are underserving the individuals that need help. So we have a plan in place, not just from a mental health perspective, also DCFS, the children are being underserved. There's a lot of departments that need to be kind of reimagined or dismantled and or rehabilitated, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But we're a big supporter. We don't. When the state-owned facilities were open, it was easier for them to get into hospitals and seek treatment, and they make it so turbulent now, and they cause individuals that are suffering to stay on the street sometimes rather than have a place to go. So we're well aware of what needs to be fixed out there.
Someone said, I want a God-fearing individual.
Okay, so I'm a faith first. I feel called to do this. I feel I've been calloused up. I think I've been given so many blessings and opportunity in my life. I honestly believe it would be dishonest not to come here and fight with the discernment and the faith that I have and the ability to navigate through these turbulent waters of politics and the ugliness and not to take it personal or let it affect you psychically or mentally, and then keep moving forward where you don't get exhausted. I'm built for that, and it's because of my faith, 100%.
Some people are new, want to know when the primary is.
Okay, so the primary is March 17th. It's crucial. If you wanted to do anything for Illinois, make everyone aware of March 17th. And it's not just for my race. I'm the top of the ballot, and we will echo down the ballot who to vote for and why to vote for them, and we'll do it authentically. However, March 17th is a primary. They put it on St. Patrick's Day because they don't want you voting. They want you celebrating St. Patty's Day or to be in a parade, when we have to ensure we carve out the time to be at the ballot box and vote for Joe Severino on March 17th. Put it in your calendar.
Someone said, how long were you a Democrat before you became a Republican, and when did you become a Republican? Okay, so
I'm a hard voting Republican. I was never really a Democrat. So I've always been more conservative. What makes me an actual Republican conservative is faith, family, home, Constitution, our borders, things of that nature. The bodily autonomy. I didn't like what was going on with the masks and the vaccines, and I'm going to post some videos. They try to call me a rhino. They want to say that I'm a rhino or paint me as being a Democrat to disincentivize individuals from being invested in my campaign. They want to, please listen, disincentivize individuals from wanting to be invested in my campaign. And they do that with the mudslinging and the lies and the diminishing who I am or what my principles are. And I won't go into how far they go and what they say and the threats, etc. However, don't get fooled by what they say. I am a 100% hard voting, Trump supporting Republican and a faithful Republican, a patriot Republican. So it's irrefutable. So I'm not a Democrat.
Someone said, what do you have to say for special needs moms?
It's near and dear to my heart. I grew up in a single family household, mother and father divorced. I was very young, spent a lot of time while my mother worked 2 jobs, one waiting tables, and then TWA used to be an old airline. And I'd walk the streets. I know what it's like to be to see a struggling mother, number one. And when I had my children's foundation, which revolved around children, a lot of single moms had their children in our program, and we had special needs children. Our children are being underserved. They're one of our greatest resources on earth, number one, but particularly to us in Illinois. and they're being underserved. Right now with the schools, the way that they're treating those with special needs, and we're going to get into this at length, what's happening with these bloated superintendent administrative budgets, that now they're diluting the amount of administrators they have because they can no longer pay for them after they blew through all that COVID money. And now they're increasing the size of classrooms a lot of times, and it's the special needs kids that are getting left behind. And they're not being taught to the individual, and we're going to fix that.
A lot of people are asking about the ComEd rates.
Okay, so we want to bring, it's huge. They're doubling in some cases all throughout the state. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in nuclear partnerships. They already exist in Illinois. We want to bring back the rights to drill in southern Illinois. There's a lot of industry that's untapped and underserved that would help offset our ability to thrive as families and actually, lead a household without stress and enjoy your family and opportunity. So we're going to pivot back to nuclear partnerships, smaller nuclear partnerships positioned throughout the state, and we're going to lift the regulations that prevent them. That will reduce your bills incredibly. And I'm learning a lot more about nitrogen energy relating to agro. So, when you get out there, you learn the actual concerns of the people that are living out there in the areas that you're not as familiar with and what they need to thrive. And that's exactly what we're going to bring to the table.
A lot of people are asking when you're coming to visit Springfield, plans for Southern Illinois.
Okay, so I'll be in Springfield for the state fair. I love to meet as many people as possible. What I need and what I like to do is host events in Southern Illinois. We want to bypass, this candidacy is predicated upon bypassing the power structures that exist and actually be the voice of the people. There's never been a time where you've had a candidate that was willing to take on this endeavor, voluntarily take on this endeavor, and I'm willing to do it. And we can do it together. When I say my name on the ballot and your voice, what I mean is, in order for me to lead, I just need you out there helping support me to get there. And in this case, I need signatures, I need donations, and I need coffees, venues where I can come and meet people in groups, and then I'll spend some time. And I want to do that all throughout the southern area of the state, central Illinois, and even where I live.
People are asking for individuals that have paid off their homes and senior citizens, your opinion on property taxes for them.
Okay, so they think this is political puffery. We're going to remove the burden of property tax, starting with seniors. We have a plan to do that. Ranch Isquith is my lieutenant governor, who you're going to meet soon, and we've already sat down and devised a plan. We're not disclosing the plan as of yet. Not before you need to vote, we'll do it, but we're not doing it until all the possible gubernatorial candidates get in the race, because these individuals, it's a sinister environment, and your unique idea would soon be adopted by someone that doesn't have your best interests in mind and appropriated as their own idea. And we're going to disclose it, so we take full ownership and responsibility of what we have to say, and people are going to be elated. We are going to rectify the wrongs that have been going on with this J.B. Pritzker. Every time he can't balance a budget, he taps back into your pocket. And we can rectify that. We can balance a budget. We're going to restructure and bankrupt some of the debt that exists in Illinois. We're repatriating funds that have left with all the corrupt cronies that nobody wants to talk about, and we're going to put the money right back in your pocket.
This is a pretty good one. It says, your opinion on DCFS. I work for a foster care agency and need more support. Okay, so DCFS has to be revamped. DCFS is not serving the children first. What they're doing is they're trying to assimilate them into cultures, radical cultures that they believe the children should be raised in. We have to, at all costs, leave children in the home. Where it's safe, number one. Number two, our entire family court system needs to be revamped. It's not, it doesn't exist to serve the parents and the children first. There's a lot of interest, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. There's horror stories
I'm not even the governor yet, and I get all kinds of emails and messages regarding these situations. So again, I'm well aware of it. I know it's a problem. I have a huge heart, and I have a lot of empathy for the children and the family, and we're going to rectify a lot of these matters through legislation.
Let's see. I'm just seeing some come in. A lot of them are just comments. Okay, do you have someone picked to guide you in agriculture?
I don't have an individual. We're putting a committee together. And I just happen to have a good friend of mine that's big in agro, and we're putting a committee together because the way to approach this position is to bring the best minds and those that know more than you about certain subjects. I know how to lead, strategy, leverage, and to be CEO of Illinois. However, I'm not as astute in farming, agro, etc. So we're bringing those people together, and they're very sophisticated people, and they're well aware of what needs to be happening, the pipelines that they're trying to put in our soil, etc. And we're going to fight against all that. We're going to fight against the Midwest corridor, where they're trying to steal all our resources and share them with other states. In Illinois, not only is it being underserved, it's incredibly rich in resources, and it's being pilfered, and we're going to stop that too. And that's why they will go to no end to try to stymie and prevent me from getting elected. That's why I need you to get out there, promote me on social media, make a donation, doesn't matter how much it is, whatever you can give at SeverinoForGovernor.com. Help collect signatures, host the coffees, but share the social media. The idea is we have to get over the barriers that they create so we can talk, and people won't learn as to what can easily be fixed out there. So if you share my information, we're going to overcome those barriers, and that's how we become very successful.
Someone asked about unions again. A lot of people are saying, I doubt you're pro-union.
Okay, so that's not true. I grew up in a union household, International Brotherhood of Teamsters, 727. My father, he was a business, a BA, a business agent for like 30 years. I grew up around the union. And I'll tell you this, and I grew up around some colorful people in the union, and politics is way more corrupt than a lot of environments that exist out there. But I'm pro-union. I just don't have an issue with individuals that want to, that have other ideas. But absolutely, we're here to kind of streamline commerce here, to let the business people lead in Illinois. They're not leading right now. We have a guy that's never created anything. Everything was inherited. He doesn't know what it's like, the blood, sweat, and tears of growing a company like I did for 30 years, even though we had to suffer through the consequence of not just him, but other horrific governors that we've had with all the compliance red tapes and the bloat and the unfair taxes and fees. We're going to limit all that literally in the first week of our new administration.
I've seen a couple of comments of people saying that they want merch.
So we have all that coming together now. So we'll have baseball hats, hoodies, t-shirts, cups or mugs, things of that nature. And so I'm happy to bring that. We'll have it on TikTok. We'll have it on Facebook. We'll have it on my website, SeverinoForGovernor.com. So I would appreciate when we put it out if you just buy it all. It would be wonderful.
What do you think of James Mendrick?
Okay, so I want to be professional in my run, but you can't unsee Joe Biden. He's Joe Biden of DuPage County. And then you go there and you hear him speak, and then you really can't unsee it. There's a lot of corruptness around him, suppressing of crime in DuPage County. J.B. Pritzker just hid those fleeing congressmen in DuPage County because he knows James Mendrick is going to help him. James Mendrick is only running because his undersheriff was going to take over his position and run to get elected as sheriff because he was so negligent. A woman died in his custody, cost the taxpayers $12 million. he just doesn't resonate well. None of these people do. They have Ted Dabrowski that's going to run. Aaron Del Mar used to own an escort agency. How do we have a guy that was owning an escort agency and owned a website called soulraper.com? This is our conservative hero that's going to save Illinois. A corrupt politician. He's a Cook County GOP. Then he went and polluted Palatine, destroyed that. And now he's bringing the toxicity back to the Cook County GOP. He was backing pedophile sympathizers. It's got to stop. The only one that's going to save Illinois is me. I'm the only one. And people have to understand, I don't say it arrogantly, I say it with passion because I know it exists out there. If somebody was going to navigate better than me, I would be golfing this summer. I wouldn't be on the live right now. I would be golfing, spending time with my family, doing things to enhance my life, not taking on all these unscrupulous individuals. But I'm doing it for you. I care. I have the discernment. I understand what's going on here. I know how to fix it, and that's why I don't want to give up on you.
Where are you from in Illinois?
So I grew up in Cicero, Illinois, originally. Currently, I live in Lake County, Illinois. Lived in Cook County, Park Ridge, for about 12 years before I came here.
Let's see. I'm trying. It's hard to see because it's like so small. I'm trying to find questions.
It was something about family I noticed.
Let me look for that one. I'm seeing.
What will we do for state workers?
Yeah.
Okay, get taxes down. Okay, so what we're doing with the, what we're doing with the income taxes. Anyone that makes less than $750,000 in combined annual income will not be paying income taxes. Will not be paying personal state income taxes. We have a very innovative and sophisticated plan. And that's what they're fighting against. They're saying, oh, no, that's not possible. When you take the cronyism, when you start repatriating the dollars that are leaving Illinois, when you take the ability to transact away from these political cronies and put it back in the taxpayers' hands, this is absolutely possible. And I would rather miss a target by a little than sit where we are now, where we're missing it by a lot. So we have very unique and innovative ideas. And Ranch Isquit, the lieutenant governor, who was he was with the Department of Treasury, sat on a committee that audited and kept banks compliant on behalf of the consumers and on the business end. So both private and public sector experience Ranch brings in, and we can do the math to make this work. All we need to do is get me through that primary on March 17th. Don't take no for an answer. Doesn't matter who they throw at you as a candidate. Show up for me March 17th, and we're going to affect huge change in Illinois. And share my social media. The videos have to be shared on all platforms, X, TikTok, Facebook, etc.
How will you get energy costs down?
Okay, so energy costs, we discussed. What we're going to be doing is creating nuclear partnerships. There's some coal opportunities out there. There's a lot of opportunities that haven't been explored or tapped into that do exist. And trust me, these business people want to come in, and it's going to be I call it the Illinois revival. We're going to have a revival here in Illinois, particularly downstate. We're going to create a sustainable tax base for them so there's no chokehold on the northern end of the state, and then they can both flourish. And that's exactly the plan that we have.
How do you get gas tax lower?
Okay, so we have to reverse these taxes. Literally, and we're cognizant of this. Literally, I was in central Illinois last week. When you're in central Illinois, they're crossing the border to go to Iowa to fuel up at Costco. When you're in Illinois, particularly by me, they're crossing the border and they're going to Wisconsin to fuel up. They're going to the Costco's there. That's all our tax dollars that are being streamed into economies that cross our borders. We're going to repatriate. We're going to bring all those back. So we have unique ideas. In order to do that, I want you to know that I'm very well aware of what's going on.
How do we raise the bar for people and help them realize their capabilities?
Wow. You know, that's close to my heart because I feel a lot of the premise of the campaign is to bring everybody along. And because I am a strict conservative, but I also have a huge heart for the community. I want to ensure everything that people are talking about, mental health, people being left behind, our children, special needs, etc. Even the single moms, they're being forgotten. And we're cognizant of the fact that they're forgotten and people aren't being brought along. The parents, without tapping into the taxpayer's pocket, we have to bring back better meals at school. We have to bring back better teaching regulations and performance-based education mechanisms. The kids with their better lunches, healthier lunch. I like with the MAHA agenda. And I believe in intramurals after school. When I was young, let's say if your parents weren't home, there was an after-school sports activity that you could take part in. So at the end of the day, we can manage our children better, and thus the families are going to be treated better and give them the opportunity to actually thrive. So that's a large part of what we're going to do. We have to get back to the basics. Let's take the technology of today with the traditions of yesterday, and we can do great things for our state, and that's exactly what we intend on doing without harming people along the way.
I see someone kept asking, I didn't want to ignore their comment, about the pro-life, pro-choice and your plans.
Okay, so I am a pro-life individual. I've been on record. I was talking about how they were selling the body parts long before that was popular, even though it was a detriment to my campaign. Now these individuals that they want to sneak as conservatives and Republicans like the Dombrowskis, the Del Mars, the Mendricks, what they want to do is, instead of admitting, listen, I believe in life. I've almost lost my life. I've seen some horrific things in my life. So at the end of the day, I want to celebrate life at every stage. I don't apologize for being pro-life. As a matter of fact, I'm very frustrated with the Illinois pro-lifers because they're not doing enough for life. Sometimes these organizations like the division because that's how they profit. If we solve a problem, there's no longer the ability for them to profit. So that's a problem I have, not just with life, but with our constitutional rights, the Second Amendment. I'm a big fan of the Second Amendment, and that's being trampled on in Illinois, even by our leaders. So yes, I'm pro-life. I am pro-Second Amendment. I'm pro our Constitution, and I'm pro the ability for everybody to thrive without the government getting in our way. And that's what I'm going to erase, those obstacles that the government provides.
I thought this was an interesting question. Someone said, would you consider legalizing fireworks in Illinois?
Oh, somebody asked me that the other day. I wouldn't say. My knee-jerk reaction is, I don't understand why, at this point, why maybe 48 states don't have them outlawed, but we do here. Maybe there was a huge lobby in Indiana where a lot of them come from, and they want to control that. I don't know, but under the proper supervision, I think people can make pretty good choices, and I think the government has to stay out of their business. So I would definitely look into that and learn more about it. That's for sure. And let me give a shout out to my man, Jimmy. This guy has promised, he's turning 18. He'll be 18 when it's time to vote. And he's promised to dedicate his first vote to me. And it's so inspiring when, the younger generation is so enthused and they're re-engaged and we're bringing them to the table. And, he's out there battling and fighting for me and saying some great things and telling people about me and doing some videos for me, celebrating my candidacy. And I just want to say thank you. All of that is appreciated. Sometimes you don't realize that, or at least me as a candidate. I see that and I appreciate that.
Would you get rid of the FOID card?
Yes. I don't think there should be any regulation or tax or fees related to the exercise of our constitutional rights. So yes, there would be no fee for gun ownership, and there would be no FOID card. There would be a waiting. We would keep the 3 days, and also red flags. I'm a fan of the red flags. If individuals, through scrutiny or litigation, are proven not to be sound gun owners, I would absolutely accept that.
This was an interesting question about legalizing like drugs for medicinal use. I don't know what your thoughts are.
So when I was losing my mother to cancer, I was buying marijuana paste to try to help her. I like Donald Trump, at end of life, things that maybe aren't traditional. And when you know what's happening behind the scenes, why they're controlling this at the risk of losing your loved ones, I'm in full support of, medicinal use, no question about it. The thing I have an issue with is they're opening up these cannabis stores. It's like the new liquor store. They're opening them on every corner, it seems now. And they're putting them in areas where the people are struggling the most. So we have to look at that. And those tax dollars should be going to the people, not these politicians.
Thoughts on like police and police reform?
Back the blue. We have to back the blue 100%. The police are underserved. Nurses, teachers, and police officers are the most underserved and underrated individuals out there working. So I am a big fan of the police. I think we need to hire more police. I think we have to make our streets safe again. Bring back the patrolmen. When I was young, we used to have like the officer friendly come to our school, and he was celebrated as a hero. Now it's like they have to be embarrassed of what they're doing. They should be celebrated again, and of course, with strict compliance. They're there as a fiduciary of safety, and they're very well aware of what their role is, and they have to take a very stern approach to their behavior during the execution of that role, and we'll ensure that they stay compliant. But at the end of the day, we have one of the best cops literally in the nation that's going to take over for the Illinois State Police, and we have the lead executive for the Illinois Department of Corrections, 2 huge departments here in Illinois. And once we cancel the sanctuary state status and we start removing illegal aliens from our soil or from Illinois, clearing out the jails, etc., sending people home, we're going to need those individuals in place to affect that plan and keep us safe along the way. You will not worry about walking down the street with your wife or children with the Severino administration. We're going to be a very safe state.
I would just say before you wrap up, even Mom said this was important to mention, this is your only account. All the other Severino accounts that are asking for money, don't believe it. This is the only one. Today
is the first day I've ever asked for donations. We started our fundraiser today. So again, please go make a donation, SeverinoForGovernor.com. Whatever you can possibly give, please give. Encourage your friends and share my videos, etc. But this is the only account we have. I don't speak to anybody individually. I don't ask them to invest in crypto. There's no side messages about investment opportunities, etc. So please either report those accounts. This is the only one I have. So it's a great point. Thank you. So please don't fall for that. I get messages where people are potentially going to be victimized by these scammers, and we have some ideas for that too. So thank you very much. I'm looking so forward to joining you in so many more of these lives and meeting you in person. Please tell everybody, get out there March 17th, vote for me in the primary, make a donation, share my videos, tell your friends and family, comment in the videos, get those algorithms flourishing. They try to report me, they try to shut down my accounts because I'm doing this for you. So whatever you can do to help promote me, I appreciate it. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll put more videos out soon. Thank you.